Hello everyone, my name's Debbie. I'm member Stitchy here on Flosstube and over on Instagram, and this is the channel all about cross stitch. Today's episode number 50 and it is a monthly. Usually I record at the end of each month, but I had an unexpected month off. It was very much needed, but I'll explain that now so we don't have to put it in later. But it was just general life. I was a ball of anxiety and stress. I have some medical stuff. It was just I have an ankle tumor that's came back for a second time. It's a nerve tumor. It's nothing cancerous or anything like that. But I have 7 weeks of treatment to go through for it. I'm on number 5. So fingers crossed that works. Otherwise it's surgery number 6 to remove the nerve and the tumor completely. But it's just been that. Life's been busy. It's the end of the school year. The kids only have 2 weeks of school left, so they've packed every event under the sun into these last couple of weeks of school. Elena's just come back from science camp and has something every week. Maya's had doctor's appointments too. She hurt her knee in December, I think it was, and it was a bone bruise and bleeding in the marrow, but it's just never healed. But they found this week finally that she actually has a cyst or some lipoma thing under her kneecap, so she's also getting injections. So it's just been life. But I want to say thank you to everybody who reached out to check that everything was fine, and hopefully I remember how to Flosstube, and we'll just get into the stitching and just roll with it. It's been a month off, it was needed, and hopefully I remember how to do this. So let's just start from the beginning. Last time I saw you, I was about to head to Stitch West, the retreat in Ogden, Utah, put on by Snug Harbor Crafts, Deb and Kev, and I went to that. Ogden is absolutely beautiful. I love the fact it was quite a short flight. It was only 2 hours from California, and yeah, Ogden was absolutely beautiful. Where the retreat was super walkable to all the restaurants and coffee shops, and Stitch West, not Stitch West, what's the shop called? Shepherd's Bush was a 5-10 minute walk away from the hotel, and I think we went there 2 or 3 times. And actually all my haul from Stitch West and the 2 months that I haven't seen you is in this amazing bag, tote bag that everybody got at the retreat. It holds a ton of stuff and will definitely be getting used after this. Oh, it's taking over. Stay. So yeah, I will show you that later in the video. It's jam-packed. But first off, my first finish of the month I don't physically have because it was my small for the smalls retreat at Stitch West. I'll pop a picture in here of my finished item. This is Wren and Snowdrops. It's by Love Poppet. I think I bought it from their website. I think they have an Etsy shop too. I'll link it all below. But I stitched this one up in about a couple of days, maybe 2 or 3 days, and then procrastinated a ton about how I was going to finish it. But I found these little charcuterie boards. It was a pack of 2 from the Target dollar spot. They're really chunky, little wood round boards, and they had the little hole in the top where you could hang it up if you wanted to. And I stitched it on, I think it was a sage Lugana, and then just finished it on a piece of card with some batting underneath and some Lady Duck trim around the edge, and just glued everything. Everything was glued or done run and stitch around to put it all together. So I was really happy with the finish, and I actually have the same fabric, and the charcuterie board came as a 2-pack, so I'm going to start that project next year for myself too, because the little Wren is so cute. So I hope my person liked it. We waved, we were a table apart, and the item that I got was this little project bag, which will be perfect for something small like Mill Hills, or the little half-size Brenda Gervais patterns, which I bought a lot of at Shepherd's Bush. And I think this is Primrose Cottage Stitches design. They were actually the featured designer at Stitch West. I don't have any of their designs and I don't know much about them, So it wasn't like I went for the designer. It was more my friends Leah and Sherry, who is Share Stitches on Flosstube. Our schedules aligned where we could all go together. But Primrose Cottage Stitches were lovely. The event space was beautiful. It was like a really big room, plenty of space for vendors, and our light was perfect. We were in the basking glow of there was like a big lit up Primrose Cottage Stitches sign. So we had perfect lighting at our table because we were the closest table to it. And our table mates were absolutely lovely. The only problem that happened is the first night at the hotel, because the conference room was attached to the hotel. So we stayed in the hotel where it was being held. On the first night, the aircon went out in a lot of people's rooms. I was one of them. And my room was on the 7th floor. It was on the sun-facing side, and it got hot really fast. It was in the 80s or 90s. The windows didn't open, and then the aircon started emitting like a really chemically smell. So I had to turn it off completely, and saw reception at 7 in the morning. And they're like, yeah, and our engineer's coming. A few people are reporting it. An engineer's coming. It'll be a couple of hours. Well, that entire day went past of it being a couple of hours of somebody coming to fix it, into the next day, and it turns out nobody was coming to fix it, and it wasn't going to be fixed that weekend, and it just was awful. I had no sleep whatsoever. My room was so hot. I tried to have a cold shower at like 4 in the morning to like, you know, like try and cool down a little bit, but that was the kind of only dampener of the weekend because I was so tired, barely stitched, felt less than chipper, which I felt bad about because I met some lovely people that I watch on like Flosstube, like Brenda and Jordan, Tattooed Stitcher, and my friend Sarah, the Redneck Bifocal Stitcher, who we've been like Zoom and teammates and challenge groups and stuff like that, and it was great to meet them finally in person. And I felt less than chipper. I was so tired, and I actually fell asleep on the plane on the way home, which I think I've never done in my entire life. So that was the only downside, but the retreat was really good, and Ogden is beautiful, and they had a lot of coffee shops, which definitely helped for that weekend, and obviously shopping at Shepherd's Bush. But that's my downside of going to a physical retreat, and puts me more in favour of Zoom retreats now in the future, but we'll see. Anyway, that was a ramble that I went on. When I was at retreat, I did work on this project, and it is Witch's Brew by Brenda Gervais. I actually started it maybe a day or two before the retreat, because I hate starting things at retreat in case I start in the wrong place, or I don't love my fabric, or you know, like where you've got wiggle room to change what you want to work on. So this is what I picked, and I think I maybe just outlined a couple of things so I could fill it in at retreat, which was perfect. And I picked a bunch of stash floss based on the cover image, because I don't think I had any of the called for, and I've since finished it. So she is adorable. I just used a bunch of stash floss from all different brands, and it is on 36 count pearl grey. I don't know the dyer, if it is a dyer or whether it's a stock Zweigart, but it was perfect, and she is so cute. I love her little dress and her big mug of coffee. So that's that one. So I finished that when I got back. At some point I just kept chipping away at it. My next project is the Amur Leopard. This is part of the Endangered Species Club by Lindy Stitches. I think there's going to be 6 animals that we get every 2 months, and this was number 1. And you'll see a before picture of where I was. And I finished it. So this one was tough going, like all that fill-in, but it is good TV stitching. Once you've got it outlined, you just go backwards and forwards with over-dyed floss of that one. And this is on 32 count Luna Moth Joblin by Stitchy. It's a lovely like just like minty green colour. And the next one in the series is the African Savannah Elephant, and I barely started this one. I do love the specialty stitches here, that they're nothing too complicated, and there's a video as well on how to do them best, but I love that it's a simple specialty stitch. And so this one I've barely started. It's just a bit of the ear and a bit on the face, but I just need to get going with this one because the third one is the right whales is already on its way to me. I think it'll be here on Thursday. I don't want them all stacking up. Oh, and this one's on 32 count, just light blue Zweigart, even weave. Next one. My next and last finish for the month is Crow's Lullaby by the Primitive Hare. You'll see where I was before. Oh, might have to wheel back for this one. But that is my finish. When I wasn't feeling very much like stitching, I think the not sleeping at the retreat really kind of kicked off the insomnia, like when I got home. But this was pretty much the only thing I worked on, just because it was solid black, just CMC. It was easy to just pick up and put some stitches in, just work on those easy lettering, and then just work down the border. But here is the Crow's Lullaby, all the way down. Love those crows at the bottom. And this one is on 32 count Joblin in the colour Wicked by Be Stitch Me. So you can see the whole thing there. And I love the fact that I put this on a super coloured fabric rather than like a beige or a brown or something like that. It kind of, I feel like it was a good use of something really, really mottled like this. And the black really pops like on it. So that's it. So I was glad to work on that one, and that one, it flies by. The fact you just keep moving the Q-snap up, 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 and before you know it, you're at the bottom. So my next project is Berry Tree. This is a chart by Artecy, and the artwork's by Abraham Hunter. And this is the project that I'm kind of doing a page a month on. You'll see in the 2 months that I haven't seen you, I actually only got 1 page done. I just felt like in that time full coverage was a little bit much. But now, like, I can't wait to start working on full coverage again. So this is on 25 easy count, 1/1 full cross. I have 3 pages left. I actually just put this one in to mark up RXP last night. I've been using a paper chart, but I'm converting everything over now, now that I've got used to using it. So markup tells me I have just under 10,000 stitches left on this project. And because I missed a month, I'm now a page behind on my, like, when I scheduled to finish it. I'm aiming for in June to actually finish those bottom 2 pages, so that July I'm only left with the one, like the one here where the bear's face actually is. But these bottom 2 pages are quite confetti heavy, so it's going to be a challenge, but I'd really like to catch back up to where I was expecting to be at this point. So who knows, hopefully markup makes this go a lot faster and I can get those 2 pages done. But can't wait to finish this one. The next project I have was a new start for me. This is Artemis. This is by Carolyn Manning. And this one I started because in the challenge group Fandom Stitching Central that I'm in, One of the challenges was start a new project and work on it for 24 days with 200 stitches each day, and I'm almost there. This is where I am like now. I think I have 2 more days left on it where it needs another 200 stitches each day minimum. I love the colours on this. So this project's on 32 count Lugana Silvery Moon or Silver Moon. It's a slight purplish like colour, and it was perfect. It goes with the nice like jewel tones of this pattern. I'm stitching this all in DMC, and I was completely inspired to buy this pattern because of Barb, who is Stitch Brat on Flosstube and on Instagram. She has the most amazing collection of the Shooting Star Carolyn Mannings and others, but I love seeing her progress on those, so I was completely inspired to start one. Because I mean, I could have worked on the Carolyn Manning I already have started, but no, start another one. And this might be one of my only starts going forward for the rest of the year, but that's for later. In June I would like to fill in the background and officially finish what is like the first page. Again, this is another one I've put in markup, and I've just worked within what fits on my iPad screen instead of working page by page. So I'd like to fill in all the background on these, and I actually stitched this by stitching these big diamonds first. I can't remember who it was that recommended it on Flosstube, but that was a lifesaver. Just colouring in all the big diamonds across the whole page and then going back and doing the background fill like around them. That definitely moved this project along quite quickly, and it's fun to see like the layers of colour be added each time. So that is Artemis, so you might see that one again next month. That brings me to all the stitch longs that I've started, and yeah, I went a bit crazy on the stitch long bandwagon. The first one, but because of that there's no cover photo because they're like mystery. But the first one is Arctic Explorers Club by Frosted Pumpkin, and this is part 1, and I think it's going to be, it seems to be like Northern Lights based and with all the little animals, but this was part 1. It is Arctic foxes and voles. There are like brightly coloured labels like naming the animals that I'm choosing to leave off just now unless they're like vital to the project like later on. I kind of want to keep it just like the animals. And I swapped out, I bought the mini kit which included the fabric but not the floss, and there was like stickers and things like that in the box, but I ended up swapping out the fabric anyway. And this is 28 count Uplifting Currents by Under the Sea Fabrics. It's an opal linen. And I just thought the lines make it look like Northern Lights. Hopefully it works. So far all the colours show up. I'm using all the call for DMC. But that is part 1. And I think with this one we get a part like just once a month. So hopefully I'm going to stay caught up with that. Says every person ever doing a stitch along. Stay caught up. The next mystery stitch along is the Deadly Aquarium by Lola Crow, and I actually got the entire frame done. I didn't think I was going to get it done because that was a lot of stitches, but the whole frame's done. Love the seagulls. Can't wait to see what other creatures we get. I swapped out the fabric that I was originally going to use because the white didn't really show up that well. So this is actually 32 count Lugana in the colour Under the Sea by Hand Dyed by Jim. It's an Etsy store and I'll link it below because actually you'll see another bit in haul. I bought the sparkly version of this one too. Actually the first animals already came out after the frame, and it's a green, is that an eel or moray eel? And it's going to go where my little octopus needle minder is, down in the bottom there. So I want to get that one, this will probably go back on the Q-Snap today, and I want to get that one started because I think this one we get a creature every 2 weeks, so this one's going to be a lot, but can't wait to see what this one brings, because I've loved all the other Lola Crow stitch alongs but haven't actually started any, so this one really caught my eye. Next one I also try to work on monthly, and it is the Disney Heroes stitch along. Again, it's because of the challenge group that I'm in. You get points per character that you stitch for your team, and it's just not a mindless stitch, but it's just fun. It's whole stitches, bright colours. You can't not feel bad stitching on this one. So over the last month or so, who have I added? Cusco and Milan. Is that all I've added since I last saw you? Maybe? I don't remember, but that's where I am so far. And I think I've already picked that I'm going to stitch Tiana and Peter Pan this month. And it'll help me reach some of the other characters without counting too far. So, and this one is on 32 count even weave colourful clouds by Pole Stitches. My next project, I was hoping I'd be finished by now, and because it's one of my Year of Whips projects, and that Year of Whips is a group by Melanie Watkins, the Soulful Stitcher, where you assign a group of projects at the beginning of the year that you're like, this is what I'm going to finish this year, and there's like a winning draw thing, but it's more about I just want to finish the stuff. But if you finish half of the projects that you pledge to finish within the year, you get entered into a draw to like win, I think it's a gift voucher or something like that. But I just want to finish all the ones I have on my list, but this is one of them. So this is Curious Hen by Bothy Threads, and I do plan on keeping this one on the Q-snap till it's finished. So if I would like the Q-snap back to work on other projects, I need to get this one done. And I haven't done much, but this is where we are. And this one's really difficult to work on. It is a ton of confetti of very, very, very similar shades of grey. And actually Laura, the I Stitch Birds, was also saying she's having problems with this one too. But I've finally worked out how to tackle it. So I'm coming up and doing fun bits in its face where it's other colours. But I'm actually working in like the 10 wide columns and working like down the way. So filling with the darkest colour first and then working to the lightest colour or the most colour in that 10 wide column, and working all the way down to like where his feet are going to be down here. So I'm just going to do that, come down a column, move out, do another column, and then tackle all the back stitch that this has. But I'm using the Kit Ada, Kit Floss, and it will get there eventually. So if not this month, in June, I might save it as a finish for July. But she's getting there, slowly but surely. And my last project, this one has been so much fun to like work on. It is Sewing Cats by Soda Stitch. And I think mostly in this last month or this last week I've been working on this one, and I actually got 2 more little cats added to the stack. Those 2 little cats under the blanket at the bottom, and I'm back stitching everything as I go. So I do not want to leave it all to the end. And the back stitch really brings these projects to life from Soda Stitch. They just look kind of like a blob of colour beforehand. So those 2 little cats are done. And this is on 32 count Joblin Mint Splash by Zweigart. It's printed where the dots are only on the front. But that's that one. I'm just using DMC 2/2. And in June, I would love at a minimum to finish the other side of the sewing machine and the cat on this, and basically finish out this entire bottom shelf. And then hopefully maybe that's optimistic given how much I have to do on the bears, the full coverage bears. That might be asking too much. I don't want to scare my stitchy bug that I lost off anymore by like making too many plans like for myself. So I don't want to scare it off by making like too many plans and then feeling like I'm failing at my own plans. So definitely the one cat and the rest of the sewing machine. Bonus if I get anything else done, because this project is also on my year of whips. So that's the last thing that I worked on. So up next, quickly plans, apart from the things that I've already showed you. When I wasn't feeling much like stitching, what do? You either buy things or you organize like your stash, try and lure that stitchy bug back. And so I took all my projects out. This was boxes. I've taken the boxes all away and just put the projects all on the shelves, and it actually goes 3 down. And before, I was only working on a select number of projects that occupied the top shelves, and now I'm just giving myself like free for all. If a challenge calls for something, or I just feel like working on something else that I've not worked on for maybe years at this point, I'm just going to allow myself to do it and just try and not be so, not like controlled, but be more adaptive to challenges or just what I want to work on, if that makes sense. I'm also going to try and not start any, or very, very few. I have one more stitch along that I've bought that I'm going to start. It's by Quatern Creations. It's like a forest fairy tale, and the border and part 1 have already come out, so I need to get going with that. But I'm thinking for the rest of the year, I really do just want to work on whips and maybe clear some of these out, because I turn 40 in December, and I'm thinking I'm going to start 40 new projects throughout the following year, like December to December. So in order to do that and not feel too bad about it, I need to create some space by finishing something. So I think the rest of the year is just going to be dedicated to finishing a lot of projects, as many as I can. And I really want to work on more full coverage that I have already going, and just feel good about starting all those things like next year. So that's my loose plans for now. That brings us to haul. Yeah, haul. But before that, actually, plans as well. It is summer coming up, so I don't know how much stitching I'm going to get done. We only have 2 weeks of school like left, and to get me out of my little sadness slug phase that I was in, we've been doing a lot of like family things on the weekend. So actually, I'll put some pictures in. We went to the beach. Beautiful weather. Water was absolutely freezing. It is the Pacific after all. But it was a great day we had at the beach. I think it's called Natural Bridges. It's down in Santa Cruz. So it was great. We saw deer. There was like deer, and there was like frogs, because there's like an estuary bit that comes down there. So that was a great day out. We also went to the Winchester Mystery House, which was not creepy at all. And I'm surprised we've never been before, given how close. It's only 15 minutes away. But we went to the Winchester Mystery House. It was beautiful inside. And actually, I'll pop some pictures in as well, because they allow you to take pictures in the house now that they never did before, as long as you keep up with the tour group and don't like fall behind or get like go into other rooms and stuff like that. But the house was absolutely beautiful. We found out that she loves Sarah Winchester, who like financed the house and all that and lived there, loved like spider webs. So there was loads on like the windows and in like wallpaper and other parts of like furniture and stuff like that. But it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And she has like a plant room. She loved garden plants. I'm like, this is like my life aspiration, to have this like weird creepy little house like full of plants and embroidery. So I hope we're going to do more things like that like over the summer, and I'm going to fit stitching in when I can. But let me show you what I got at Stitch West and since. Because when you're not stitching, you're like shopping. So, oh, I don't know how best to do this. Let's pull it all out. So something I actually bought off Etsy was this tapestry kit, which I've never done before. And it's called Erica the Prawn. And I loved it. I love the colours of it. and the fact that it's a prawn, like why not? I don't know if I'll finish it like a cushion or whether I'll frame it, but it comes with everything you need. Oh, let's stick to the bag. It comes with everything you need that I'd show you if I could get out. No, it's not going to come out, but it is like yarn and this like really big Ada almost, and you stitch it just like a cross stitch. So when I finally get that out of the bag next time, or when I start it, I'll show you all the kit contents. And that was from Emily Peacock on Etsy. I bought some project bags. I'm going to need them for all those starts next year. The first one is actually where my Frosted Pumpkin Arctic Animals lives, and these are from my friend Julie at Whip It Up Project Bags. I just thought this one was perfect for the Arctic animals. So I love that colour. Fits a 11-inch Q-snap and all your project things perfectly. So that was the first one. This patchwork one has a beautiful wolf panel on the back. And the last one has the Luna moths. Oh, my favourite one. Oh, may as well keep going with the project bags. This one I bought at Retreat. I don't know who by it, doesn't have a label. I think it's Little Boat 88, but it's the Chula Pink elephants. This one was also from Retreat. Honeybees and wildflowers. This one was from the lovely Jordan Tattooed Stitcher. I saw this one on her Flosstube before Retreat and couldn't believe it was still there when I finally went to shop. It's cute. And this last one is from Vicky Stitching Button on Facebook. And I think it's Chula Pink with the tortoise on there. Love that one. So plenty of space for new projects, and especially if I finish some things, they will fit in there. Another Bothy kit. This is Daisy Q. I'm trying to collect some of the older ones in case they go out of print, so I didn't have this one. Speaking of kits, this was my unicorn, and I actually ordered it for myself, but it was for Mother's Day, because I just grabbed it on eBay for a half decent price. So it is out of print, so it was a lot, but this was my unicorn. I love that she has a little vintage bear and it has two little girls on it, so love that one. It's a nice chunky kitten. An Etsy purchase was Cabinet of Curiosities by Clouds Factory. When I first saw this one, I thought it was going to be like a stitch along, like it was going to come out in parts, but it's not. It's the whole chart. I just love all the little weird things on the shelves. Don't know when I'll start that one. Probably next year. Oh, this little bag. My friend Sherry, who I went to Retreat with, she made this little bag up. Love it with the pandas. And there's some like needles and things in there that I can't wait to try. Last couple of things. Move that away. So in Shepherd's Bush, which is wall-to-wall like models, it was actually overwhelming the first time you go in. I feel like you don't take it all in because there's just so much to see. Like everywhere you turn there's a model of something, but these really caught my eye, and it's the Prairie Schooler Santa, but they had them made up in the big chunky like cushions on like 7 count, and they had them all around the store. And this one I absolutely fallen in love with. So I got it kitted up at the store. The fabric's in there too. I've never stitched on such a big count, but it'll give me practice for that tapestry prawn cushion. And it comes with all the pearl cotton and stuff like that. And this is actually the Shepherd's Bush, like their conversion. And one of the ladies in the shop put it all like together. So I would love to stitch the whole set as these big cushions. So that will be at some point. I think that was the only thing I actually got kittied up because it was so busy. But I did grab, I was clearly in a Brenda Gervais with a needle and thread mood because I got When Witches Go Riding. I think I grabbed these because 123 Stitch doesn't have many, or they're never in stock, Brenda Gervais or like with a needle and thread. So Hilda's Alphabet Brew. Plum Street Samplers Spring Moon. I got this one because they had a big model right by the checkout counter. So I just grabbed that. Holiday Inn. Oh, I love the little skinny cat at the bottom there. Jardin Privé Undulations. I love that. It just seems like nice and bright and modern. So this will definitely go in my to start pile next year. And the last little batch of things I have is some fabric. At Retreat, the fabric dyer was Live and Dye LA, and I've never bought from them before, but I loved looking through the stuff that she has. So this was the 2024, I think it's 32 count Lugana, and it is the Retreat exclusive. So I don't know if this is going to be the one she takes to like retreats like throughout the 2024 year when she's out there. I don't think it was just exclusive to Stitch West, but that one. The other one was the one I intentionally was looking for, and it's a 32 count Lugana called Smack the Jellyfish. And this one was super popular. So, but I'd love to order some more in opal of this one because I couldn't find any when I was there. The other one is what I was telling you about, Hand Dyes by Jim, what I have my Lola Crow on. I actually bought the other piece of Under the Sea, and it's the opal, 32 count Lugana opal. So that's that one. And last two, because I'm surrounded by like a big pile now. This was a Friday Night Fight Night on Be Stitch Me, and it's 32 count linen flower patch. No idea why I do this, but it's beautiful. Super mottled, but something perfect will come along for it. And I think this was also a Fight Night fabric, and it's a 32 count opal Lugana in the color Sunflower. And I'm not normally a yellow person, but this one was just so like fun and happy. So love that one. Super sparkly. And that's it. Hopefully I didn't ramble too much. Hopefully you've seen some projects that you would like to see more of, and I will be back next month, and I hope you have a really good start to your summer. But until then, bye.